everybody. Welcome back. I know it's been a little while since I sat down and did an episode on Grieve, Grow, and Glow. And I think part of the reason is because lately I really have been in what I call my glow season. I'm enjoying myself, I'm dancing, I'm laughing, and I'm creating content, right? So I'm taking care of Sherry and I'm protecting my peace. And sometimes you have to do that, right? I'm learning to just enjoy my own company. And I'm living. And I'm genuinely grateful for where I am today. And I thank God for that. But something has been on my heart lately, and I wanted to talk about it because I think sometimes when people see you're doing well, they just assume you're completely over everything that you have been through. They don't see the behind the scenes. They only see the glow. They don't always see the grief that still exists underneath. And so that's what I want to talk about today. I'm in my glow season, but grief completely never goes away. It doesn't. Grief doesn't mean you're not healing, right? And so one thing that I've learned over the years is that healing doesn't necessarily mean you'll never hurt again, right? It doesn't mean that you'll never cry. It doesn't mean that you don't miss the person that you lost. And it definitely doesn't mean you forget about them. For me, grief has changed, right? It doesn't look the way it did in the beginning, right? We're 19 years in. There was a time when grief felt like it consumed everything. And now I have built a life around that loss. I've grown. I've changed. I'm not the same person. I've healed in so many areas. I've learned to laugh again. I've learned how to dream again, right? And I've learned how to just enjoy life. And the most important thing I've learned is to choose me, right? And yes, I've learned how to glow, right? I'm living in the glow season. But every now and then, grief still taps me on my shoulder. It does, right? It taps me on my shoulder and it says, hey, remember me? Right? And sometimes it comes when I least expect it. Oh, baby, let me tell you, it don't announce itself. Sometimes grief shows up as loneliness, right? One of the ways grief can show up for me now is through being alone. And I want to make something very clear, right? I can enjoy being single and still have moments when I don't want to be alone. Who wants to be alone? Both things can exist at the same time. I love my peace. I enjoy doing things for myself. I can take myself out when I want to, or I can just enjoy being at home with my favorite TV shows, cooking my favorite meals. I enjoy my own company, right? I don't believe that being single means I'm incomplete. But there are moments when being alone feels different. It don't feel good all the time, right? Sometimes you wish you had somebody sitting beside you. Someone you can just have those conversations with, right? Just laugh and just have fun. Somebody to ask, how was your day today? Someone to laugh with, someone to travel with. That's the biggest one. I hate traveling alone, right? And someone to just build memories with. Somebody to just do life with. But I know God has that person for me, right? Sometimes these moments remind me of what I once had. That's when I have to recognize, okay, this isn't just loneliness. Some of this still is the grief, right? Because when you've loved someone deeply and you've lost them, sometimes you're not just grieving that person. You're really grieving companionship. You're grieving the future you thought that you was going to have, right? You're grieving the conversations you used to have. You're grieving just having your person. And years can pass by, right? And certain moments can still make you miss all of that. But it doesn't mean that you're going backwards, right? First off, you're human. Understand that. And I have to tell myself that all the time. You're human. And sometimes someone else's loss triggers your own, right? Another thing I've noticed is that grief can show up when people around you experience loss. Someone loses their husband or lose their wife or family member, right? Those memories you had will resurface. And you'll start, all those emotions that you thought were suppressed, they come right back to the forefront. And you immediately go back into that dark place, right? Something inside you starts to remember how you hurt for them. And you start feeling sad. You genuinely hurt for what the other people are going through, even though it's not your loss. You feel for them because you have once been that person, right? You remember the phone call. You remember the hospital. You remember the memorial, the funeral, the disbelief. All that comes to surface the days afterward when everything's quiet and you feel the emptiness, right? The questions that you had, like, is this really my life? Right? You remember what people said, the things people didn't say, right? How people showed up for you, right? Suddenly, all these things you thought was suppressed, they come back to surface. And that's what happened to me recently, right? After I did the last video of his memorial. I've experienced other people's losses, and it just kind of brought me back to my place. And it was sadness there, right? Now, because I'm back where I was all those years ago, I'm not in a place where I'm grieving the same. It comes up, but I learned how to snap out of it, and I learned how to pivot. Because your heart's always going to remember that place. And sometimes somebody else's pain touches the place where your pain once lived. Right? Grief can sneak up on you at any time. And that's the thing about grief. It don't announce itself. It don't say, here I am, right? Sometimes it could be a song that's playing. It could be a smell that triggers your grief. An old picture that comes up in your photo album, right? Or the date, or anything of that magnitude can open up old wounds. And you just have to learn how to feel what you feel, but don't stay stuck in the sadness, right? It's okay that these things will cross your mind, and suddenly you become emotional, and you feel like you're going back down that rabbit hole. It's okay, right? But if you look at my life today, you could see, I wish you could see the woman that I've become. I wish you could see how much I have grown, the things that I have accomplished over these 19 years, right? And even in those beautiful moments, there still can be sadness, right? Because there are people we wish were here to witness our glow and to experience the things that I'm going through and to see how far I've come, right? You can miss them, but still love your life, right? This is something I really want somebody watching to understand. Missing someone does not mean you're not grateful for the life God has given you now. I love my life. I love the woman that I'm becoming. And baby, I love my peace. I love the joy that I found and created for myself. I love that I can dance and laugh and smile again and can still miss someone who isn't here. Those things don't cancel each other out, right? For a long time, I think people feel like they have to choose happiness or sadness. You don't have to choose, right? You have to choose whether you're healed or whether you're grieving, whether you're happy or sad. You don't have to choose. They both can exist, right? You just have to learn how to move forward and stop sitting in the sadness or holding on to the grief. Grief is a lesson. Grief has taught me that life is not black and white. I can have joy and grief in the same heart. I can smile and I can still remember the pain. I can dance and still miss Matthew. I can be excited about my future and still have moments when I think about my past. Right? I can glow and still grieve. Right? So, don't let people put a timeline on your grief. Right? Don't let someone tell you to get over it or it's been way too long. What does that even mean? Right? When you truly love somebody, that love doesn't have an expiration date. That doesn't mean that you have to stop living. It doesn't mean that you have to stay stuck. Right? It doesn't mean you don't allow yourself to experience all the joy that God has brought to you. Nobody gets to decide when you should stop missing somebody. Nobody gets to tell you when your memories stop, because your memories never stop. Healing isn't forgetting the person. Healing has learning how to carry those memories, but you're carrying them different, right? The memories that once completely broke you can now actually make you smile, right? They still can make you cry because you're human, but at the end of the day, you're still standing. So still live your life. God has brought us through this journey for a reason. And you are going to be that vessel to help that next person. All right? So give yourself permission to feel it and move on through it. through it, right? Don't judge yourself for when the feelings come up, right? Saying, I thought I was healed. If you need to cry, cry. Some days I need a quiet day, right? I give myself that. I give myself self-care days all the time. If I need to pray, I pray. And I talk to God all the time. And He knows my true rough emotions, right? I have to get it out and not let it sit within me. And I've talked to Him about, the place that I'm in where it's like I want to experience this with someone else. I acknowledge my feelings. I let Him know where I'm at if I'm in a sad day, if I'm feeling lonely today, right? But God always brings me close and always reminds me that He's here with me and that I am going to get through this. And I have gotten through it, right? But I'm here to say that I can still acknowledge the feelings still exist. The glow that you see me in today was born from my grief. So when I think about grieve, grow, and glow, every part of that meaning means something different to me. I grieved. And sometimes I still grieve. But I also grew, right? I learned things about myself that I probably would have never learned otherwise. I discovered the strength that I didn't know I had. I learned my boundaries. I learned the importance of peace and how precious life is, right? I learned that tomorrow isn't promised. And that growth helped me reach this season, which is my glow season. But my glow doesn't erase my grief. Believe that, right? In some ways, my glow exists because I survived it, right? So the dancing, when you see me dancing, it's my healing. It really, truly is. When you see me laughing, that's healing, right? When you see me putting on my makeup and feeling beautiful, that's healing, right? All of these things is part of my healing and part of what makes me feel joys, feel joy. I never thought that I would ever get to this place. But I'm here. And if anyone that is going through grief right now, I say to you, you'll get through it. The glow that you see in me doesn't mean that there was never darkness, right? The glow doesn't mean the darkness didn't get the final word. The glow means the darkness didn't get the final word, right? So if you're watching this and you've lost somebody, whether it happened last week, last year, right? 10 years ago, doesn't matter. I want you to know something. You don't have to apologize for missing them. And you don't have to feel guilty when you're happy either. Hear me when I say this. You are allowed to be happy again. You are allowed to laugh. You are allowed to enjoy life. You are allowed to dance. You're allowed to travel. You are allowed to do anything that makes you happy. And you are also allowed to fall in love again and create new memories. You're allowed to dream new dreams, right? So I just needed to come on and speak about that today, right? Because it had been weighing heavy on my heart. I've been seeing a lot of posts with people losing someone or people that are experiencing things that I've been going through, right? People saying, get over it, or you're feeling guilty for feeling happy. No. Feel what you feel and go through the process in your time, on your timeline. Because one day you're going to be in your glow season where I'm at today, right? You gotta have faith through your journey. And for me, I couldn't talk about this journey without talking about my faith, right? There have been times when I didn't understand God's plan. There was times when I questioned him all the time. There was a time when I walked away from God because I was so angry, right? Because I didn't understand why things happen. But one thing I know, and I realize now, that God was with me and God kept me through this painful journey. Even when I didn't realize I was being kept by God. And then looking at my life today, I can see that there was still purpose waiting for me. Right? There's still joy, and there's also still growth. There's still dreams waiting, and I know that my partner is out there. So while I'm in the wait, I'm going to continue enjoying life and being happy and doing the things that make me smile. And you'll get there one day. I can't tell you when, because everybody's timeline is different, right? So I hope I touched somebody's heart today and just lifted a little bit of the pain away, right? In giving you a little bit of comfort that things are going to get better. you're going to be able to smile again and do all of the things that make you happy. Okay? So if you are new here, please like the video, subscribe to the video. Family, you're always supporting your girl. I love you. Like the video so this video can get out to someone that really needs to hear this message, right? Liking the video doesn't cost anything. It's just helping the algorithm say, hey, more people needs to hear this message. So please, please like the video. And if you haven't already, subscribe and be part of the family because we have fun over here. All right? Until the next time, it's your girl, Sherry. Have a blessed day. Deuces.
Your eyes tell me that you don't wanna leave just yet. No, my eyes agree. It's almost like when we first met.